Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are talking about one of the most legendary sequels in animation history, Ben 10 Alien Force. Yeah, the sequel to the classic Ben 10 we all grew up watching. This one's got 3 seasons and 46 episodes, and a ton of awesome moments that will hit you right in the nostalgia. So if you are a true Ben 10 fan like me, stick around cause we are covering everything from start to finish. Now before we dive in, let's rewind a bit. Remember when Gwen and Grandpa Max packed up the old rust bucket for that summer trip? That's when Ben first stumbled upon the Omnitrix, the alien watch that changed everything. Gave him the power to turn into Heat Blast, Diamond Head, Wild Mutt, and yeah, Cannonbolt too. That summer was wild, the starting of something way bigger than any of them expected. Ben fought off villains like Vilgax, Dr. Animo, Charmcaster, and even his own alien Ghost Freak. But after that wild summer, things quieted down. Ben went back to school, tried to live a normal life, even managed to remove the Omnitrix and lock it away in a box. Alien Force picks up 5 years later. Ben's a teenager now, older, taller, maybe even a bit wiser, but when a new alien threat looms over Earth, he doesn't have much of a choice. The Omnitrix is back, and so is he. Yup, it's hero time all over again. And this time, it's not just Ben, we have got the dream team. Gwen is smarter, sharper, and now much more powerful with her magic and energy abilities. Kevin, yeah, that Kevin, the bad boy turned unexpected teammate. Remember when he used to fight Ben back in the day? Now he's rolling with the squad. He can absorb any material and morph his body into it. And of course, Grandpa Max, the OG plumber himself. So yeah, buckle up, things are about to get real. This isn't just aliens messing around anymore, this is Alien Force. It's been 5 years since Ben Tennyson last wore the Omnitrix. Life's been chill. Well, chill for Ben. He's back to being a regular teen, hanging out with friends, acing his classes, and absolutely dominating on the soccer field like he's got our superpowers without the watch. The dude even wins a medal for a game winning, full crowd cheering, coach beaming, classic Ben moment. Things finally seem normal for now. But just as Ben's about to show off his shiny new medal to Grandpa Max, something feels off. The Rust Bucket, Max's legendary beat-up RV that survived more alien attacks than the most planets, is right where it should be.
Grandpa Max?
But Max is gone, and inside, total mess. Like someone tore through it looking for something. Inside, Ben finds a hidden hologram message from Max.
Hello, Ben.
Max says he's on a secret mission involving a rise in alien activity and that he has the Omnitrix. Wait, what? Ben checks his stuff and yep, the watch is still in the box. Something's not adding up. So he does what any sensible teen would do. He tracks down Gwen, now a total martial arts badass with upgraded magical abilities. She is ready to help. Together they stumble upon an alien plumber named Magister Highbreed who confirms what Ben feared. Grandpa Max has gone missing. With no time to lose, Ben straps the Omnitrix back on. It's hero time again. Their first lead takes them to an illegal alien weapons trade, and the guy running the show is none other than but Gwen. Yup, that Kevin. Same dude who used to absorb energy and turn into a full-blown rage monster. But now, he's got a different vibe. He can absorb any material, matter, stone, concrete, and morph his entire body into it. Well, it's sick. Definitely keep that in mind for later. At first, Ben struggles with the Omnitrix. It's glitchy, unfamiliar, and clearly upgraded in ways he doesn't recognize. While he fumbles through transformations, Gwen and Magister Highbreed end up clashing with 2 major threats: the Forever Knights, those alien-hating medieval wannabes, and a new threat called DNA. These creepy parasites fuse with human hosts, turning them into freaky, super-powered hybrids. And in the chaos, something epic happens. Ben transforms into a brand new alien, Swamp Fire, for the first time. A walking, talking plant alien with regeneration powers and the ability to launch fireballs. Yeah, you heard that right, fireballs from a plant. It's like if Heat Blast and Wild Vine had a baby. That that's Swampfire. Ben captures Kevin, but the other villains slip away. Gwen, being Gwen, talks some sense into him, and surprisingly he agrees to help. Not out of the goodness of his heart, of course, but maybe because he's still got a soft spot for Gwen. What do you guys think? Do let me know in the comments and subscribe the channel if you haven't already. So now we have got a squad: Ben, Gwen, Kevin. They are heading straight to the Forever Knights hideout. Hero is back, the villains are worse, and the mystery just getting started. Continuing with episode 2, the team breaks into the Forever Knights hideout. Ben, Gwen, Kevin and Magister Highbreed breaks in, expecting a fight, and surprise, not only do they run into a bunch of alien hatching knights, but there's also a freaking dragon, because of course there is. Ben immediately activates the Omnitrix and transforms into Echo, one of his newer alien forms. He's this small white megaphone voiced alien who can duplicate himself and scream like a sound cannon. Basically tiny guys with big lungs.
Warn somebody when you're gonna do that.
Anyways, Gwen is throwing magical energy blasts like a pro, Kevin's turning his arms into solid metal and smashing everything, and Highbreed's using advanced plumber gear to keep up. Together, they manage to bring down both the dragon and the knights, but it comes at a cost. Highbreed gets seriously injured during the battle. In his final moments, he tells the trio that this is just the beginning of something much bigger. A threat against Earth, the alien weapons, the DNA aliens, Max's disappearance, it's all connected. They have to finish the job and uncover the source behind it all. And after Highbreed passes away, Kevin makes a surprising decision. He decides to stick with the team. Maybe because he cares about stopping the threat, or maybe because of Gwen. Just saying. With Gwen's magic, they trace the alien weapons to a remote mineshaft. Kevin takes down the entrance guard, who turns out to be a DNA alien wearing a weird control mask. Inside the mineshaft, the trio discovers a massive alien ship hidden underground filled with hundreds of DNA aliens. To sneak his way in, Ben puts on one of the masks and transforms into a DNA alien himself. Though they manage to get onto the ship, Gwen quickly notices that Grandpa Max isn't in here. Nevertheless, they continue their mission and destroy the weapons room, but of course, it doesn't take long for them to get spotted by the aliens. So, Ben transforms into Humongosaur, a massive dinosaur-like alien with insane strength, and starts tearing through the enemy. He's basically a walking tank. But just as the things start to look good, boom, the Highbreed commander shows up. This guy's not just powerful, he's ruthless, and his plans are even worse. He wants to wipe out the nearby town to erase all evidence. But before his plan can take effect, the team is pushed to the limit, and at the very last second, Ben manages to destroy the alien supply ship, stopping the attack just in time and saving the town. After all this, Kevin decides to keep helping Ben and Gwen find Max and uncover the truth behind the case their grandpa was working on. Meanwhile, somewhere else, the Highbreed Supreme learns about everything that's happened, and that Ben is back with the Omnitrix. Next up is episode 3. During a late night drive, Ben, Gwen and Kevin notice Kevin's plumber badge is emitting a strange beeping sound. It's not just noise, it's a signal. They are convinced it's from Grandpa Max, and for the record, plumber badges aren't something you hand to the guy who fixed your sink. They belong to an intergalactic law enforcement group known as the Plumbers. Following the signal, they believe they are tracking Max's location, but instead they find the police in hot pursuit of a pyronite, heat blast alien species, accused of burning massive crop circles into nearby fields. That's when Ben bursts out a brand new transformation, Jet Ray, a manta ray looking alien who can fly at ridiculous speeds and fire neuroshock blasts that scramble your nervous system. Cool, absolutely. Ben reverts to human form just as the police close in, and the two makes a quick escape together. Once they are safely away, Aaron reveals his secret. He's a half human, half pyronite. Yup, heat blast species. Hearing this, Kevin wonders if Gwen might also have alien bloodline. After all, it's common among humans and could explain her powers. Gwen shuts that down, insisting her abilities come from magic, talismans, and books. Later, the group uncovers the real threat, a DNA alien weather machine. These devices have been deployed all over, steadily lowering Earth's temperature so that Highbreed can make the planet inhabitable for humans. With Aaron's help, Ben transforms into Swampfire and destroys the machine, clearing Aaron's name in the process. The local sheriff apologizes to Alan and recruits him as the area's defender. Alan chooses to stay behind, but promises the trio he's only a call away if they ever need him. Alright, moving on to episode 4, Kevin's big score. So Kevin's been trying to clean up his act lately, but let's be real, old habits die hard. While fixing Grandpa Max's rust bucket, Kevin comes up with a plan to trade it for some alien tech he desperately needs. He reaches out to an old contact, Argit, a slick con artist who's more a rat than a friend. Kevin thinks this trade will get him what he wants, but of course, things don't go as planned. Argit straight up double crosses him, stealing the rust bucket along with the stash of valuable plumber tech inside. Now, Kevin's stuck chasing after the very guy who scammed him. His next move, he turns to an old enemy, Volcanis, hoping to negotiate a deal for the tech. Spoiler, it doesn't go well. Volcanis tricks Kevin and ends up capturing him. But lucky for Kevin, Ben and Gwen show up just in time to save the day. This is also the moment Ben debuts his new alien transformation, Big Chill. Imagine a humanoid moth that can fly, turn invisible and freeze everything around him. Yeah, he's basically the coolest alien on the block with some seriously chill powers. Despite feeling a bit betrayed, Ben and Gwen forgave Kevin. After all, he did all this because he wanted to help. And what about the alien tech Kevin was chasing? Turns out it's another holographic message from Grandpa Max. In it, Max urges Ben to start gathering a team. Other plumber kids like Alan because things are about to get way more serious. Episode 5. All That Glitters kicks off with Ben, Gwen and Kevin crossing paths with another plumber kid named Mike Morningstar. This guy steps in heroically during a car accident, blessing everyone with his skills and knowledge about their plumbers. Naturally, Ben is quick to invite Mike to join their team, but Kevin not so much. He's suspicious and wants to hold off until they get to know Mike better. And honestly, I think Kevin's gut feeling might be spot on. Plus, Gwen seems pretty interested in Mike, and the feeling looks mutual. Yeah, a classic love triangle brewing. While the drama simmers, there's something darker going on. Serious energy issues at the local power plant. When the gang arrives, they find a creepy zombified girl draining energy right from the plant itself. Things get messy fast as a horde of other zombified high schoolers attack Ben and the crew. In the middle of the chaos, Ben pulls out a brand new transformation, Chroma Stone. This crystalline alien is basically a walking prism that absorbs energy and fires it back as powerful, colorful energy blasts. With Chroma Stone's help, along with Gwen, Kevin and Morningstar, they manage to take down the energy-stealing zombies. Mike even saves Gwen during the fight, which just adds fuel to the fire of the love triangle. But hold up, things take a sharp turn. Mike invites Gwen out to a dinner, and Kevin's instincts flare up again. Despite Ben trying to calm things down and accuse Kevin for jealousy, Kevin insists on following them, and thank goodness he does. At the dinner spot, Ben and Kevin uncover the truth. Mike Morningstar isn't the good guy he's pretending to be. He's actually an energy vampire, draining power from girls all over the city to boost his own strength. And guess who's his latest victim? Gwen. Things get dark fast as Mike becomes nearly unstoppable with Gwen's energy fueling him. But Gwen fights back, yanking her power right out of Mike and freeing herself. Not only does she drain Mike completely, but she also helps restore the energy to other girls, turning them back to normal. In the end, Kevin destroys Mike's plumber badge, putting an end to his twisted energy spree. So yeah, the day is saved this time, thanks to Kevin. But honestly, I did keep an eye on Mike Morningstar. Feels like this isn't the last we have seen of him. Heads up for episode 6, Max Out. Things get seriously intense this time. It's all off when Gwen's brother Ken, who by the way has no clue about any plumber or alien stuff, suddenly goes missing. Naturally, Gwen, Ben and Kevin jump into action to find him. They track him down to a secret DNA alien's base just in time to stop him from fully transforming into one of those creepy parasites aliens. Ken drops some heavy news. Grandpa Max is trapped somewhere inside that base too. So the whole gang gears up for a rescue mission. When they finally find Max, he reveals that the DNA aliens have been breeding a massive army by turning humans into parasites. The team needs to shut this down fast. While Ben, Gwen, Kevin and Ken focus on destroying the parasites, Grandpa Max takes on the Highbreed commander in a brutal fight. But the commander's way too powerful and Max's is in serious trouble. Ben and the others rush to help, but Max insists they stick to the plan. He tells them, "You have got this, I believe in you." Then, in a gut-wrenching moment, Max sacrifices himself by detonating a grenade that wipes out the entire area in the Highbreed base. Without Grandpa Max, Ben is crushed, but the team knows they have to keep fighting, protecting Earth, and honoring the promise they made to Max and Breathe. Time for a writer episode, episode 7, Peer Pressure. So, Ben finally works up the courage and asks out his high school crush, Julie. And guess what? She actually says yes. Their date set at the pier and everything's going pretty smooth until an alien named Ship shows up. This little guy can merge with tech and suddenly starts chasing Ben. Now Ben's juggling a tough fight with Ship and trying to keep his alien powers a secret from Julie. Oh, and here's where we meet a new alien, Brainstorm. This crab-like genius has super smarts and tech abilities, totally fitting for the situation. Things get messy when Ship kidnaps Julie, forcing Ben to go full-on hero and finally spill his big secret. But surprise, Julie thinks it's pretty cool, not scary at all. Turns out Ship wasn't just chasing Ben to cause trouble, he was actually leading him to his crashed spaceship deep in the forest. The pilot and a trapped upgrade alien named Bazi desperately need a plumber's help to get the ship fixed. Ben and Julie step up, help the aliens out and send them on their way to find the nearest plumber. So yeah, the date didn't exactly go as planned, but safe to say Julie won't forget this one anytime soon. Moving on to episode 8, What Are Little Girls Made Of? Ben, Gwen and Kevin spot a mysterious woman leaving flowers at Grandpa Max's favorite spot. Naturally, they get curious and follow her, only to discover she's Verdona, their grandmother. And here's the kicker, Verdona isn't just any grandma, she's actually an alien from the Anodite species. Gwen quickly realizes that the magic she always thought came from the books and talismans. No, it's actually her alien genes kicking in. Verdona is thrilled to discover that one of her grandchildren has inherited her powers and immediately invites Gwen to her home planet for some serious training. But Gwen, she's hesitant. Sure, she wants to learn more, but she's not ready to leave Ben and Kevin behind. After some serious thinking, Gwen decides to stay. This disappoints Verdona big time. So much so that she loses control and tries to destroy Gwen's physical body to show her what her true powers could be. Yeah, that escalated quickly. Ben and Kevin step in to protect Gwen because come on, destroying your own body sounds way too extreme. Ben transforms for the first time into Spider Monkey, a bizarre but awesome alien that's basically a mix of a spider and a monkey. The showdown between Gwen and her grandmother doesn't last long. Honestly, who wants to punch their grandma? In the end, Gwen makes Verdona understand she's happy being half human. Verdona's disappointed but accepts Gwen's choice, promising she will be there whenever Gwen's ready to fully embrace her Anodite heritage. Well, that brings us to episode 9, The Gauntlet. Gwen and Kevin are battling a Techodon robot in a warehouse while Ben scrolls through the Omnitrix to find the right alien. He transforms into Goop, a gooey green alien who blasts the robot and showers Gwen and Kevin with slime. Kevin snatches one of the robot's hands before it's destroyed, but it's still alive. Later at Mr. Smoothie, Ben gets bullied by Cash and JD, who spill smoothies on him. Gwen and Kevin try to help, but Ben tells the bullies off, making them look like fools in front of everyone. Humiliated, Cash gets furious and wrecks Kevin's car, accidentally releasing Techodon tech and fusing with a powerful gauntlet. JT warns the team that Cash is acting weird. Kevin goes after him but gets beaten badly when Cash fuses more with the Techodon. Cash challenges Ben, who transforms into Chroma Stone to fight. Despite the beatdown, Ben holds his own. With JT's help, Cash fights off the Gauntlet's control and frees himself. Oh, and Gwen feels like she forgot something, but whatever, probably nothing. Moving right along to episode 10, Paradox. Ben, Gwen and Kevin run into Professor Paradox, a time traveler and scientist with quite the backstory.
I must have been thinking of another moment. Ta-da!
Turns out 50 years ago, Paradox built a time machine, but the experiment went sideways, trapping him inside a time bubble for 100,000 years. Yeah, that's a long wait. While stuck, he mastered time travel secrets, but now he needs Ben's help. A creepy time accelerating creature escaped that night and is aging everything touches to dust, threatening Earth's future. The gang teams up to stop it, but here's the catch: anyone who touches the creature ages instantly. Ben hatches a plan to travel back 50 years to exact moment of the botched experiment. Turns out the creature is actually Paradox's assistant, Hugo, who got trapped in the time void too. Ben stops it all from happening again, rewriting history and saving the future. Another day saved. Skipping ahead to episode 12, Plumber's Helpers. Ben, Gwen and Kevin cross paths with two young plumbers, Helen and Manny, who have been hunting down aliens with a null void projector, fully convinced it's killing them. Thinking Ben's team is just another alien threat, they waste no time in attacking, even managing to trap Kevin and nearly take out Ben and Gwen. The chase is intense, but after some quick thinking and a lot of shouting, they finally clear up the misunderstanding. That's when Ben drops the real bomb. The device doesn't destroy aliens, it sends them straight into the null void. Helen and Manny are stunned and horrified. If that's true, then they have probably been trapping innocent plumber kids this whole time. Determined to make things right, the two don't hesitate. They decide to go into the null void themselves, ready to face whatever in theirs to rescue the ones they accidentally imprisoned. In episode 13, X equals Ben plus 2, Ben finds himself in one of the strangest and most frustrating situations of his hero career. While on a mission to rescue Atia, the princess of the Incursion species from the Rudras Bounty Hunter 77, Ben teams up with Gwen, Kevin, and the Emperor's top enforcer, Wrath. The Emperor has made it clear if his daughter isn't returned, Earth is toast. They track Atia to a dam, but things quickly spiral out of control. 77 proves to be a tricky opponent, and just when it seems like the fight can't get worse, the dam starts to crack, threatening to unleash a massive flood. Ben slams down on the Omnitrix and, for the first time ever, transforms into Alien X, the most powerful alien in his arsenal. Alien X can warp reality, bend time and space, and essentially do anything. Sounds amazing, right? Well, here's the catch. Inside Alien X's mind, 3 personalities controls his actions. Serena, the voice of love and compassion. Bellicus, the voice of rage and aggression. And now Ben himself, acting as the voice of reason. The problem? Nothing happens unless at least 2 personalities agree, and Bellicus and Serena almost never agree on anything. While the dam is miraculously repaired in an instant, the real battle begins inside Alien X's mind. Outside, Gwen and Kevin are under attack, but Ben is stuck arguing in an endless debate with the other 2 personalities, trying to convince at least one of them to let him act. After what feels like forever, Serena finally sides with Ben, allowing him to de-transform. Back in action, Ben quickly shifts into Swamp Fire, takes down the enemy forces, and helps free Atia. With the princess safely returned to her father, the threat to Earth is over for now. But after the exhausting mental standoff inside Alien X's head, Ben makes himself a promise. He will never use that transformation again unless he absolutely has no choice. And honestly, can you blame him? In the episode Dark Star Rising, Ben, Gwen, and Kevin get lured into a forever night trap by Magister Prior Galil, who accuses them of impersonating plumbers. Things calm down after Ben proves his Omnitrix connection, but Kevin's world shakes when Galil demands his stolen badge back, forcing Kevin to admit his real father was a plumber. Later, Kevin struggles with it all until Gwen tries to cheer him up, even bringing ball bearings to absorb in fights. Just as they are about to get closer, a Highbreed ambushes them. Ben jumps in as a Humongosaur, but the masked man behind it all shows up, capturing Ben, Kevin, and Galil. Turns out the masked man is none other than Michael Morningstar, now calling himself Dark Star, stronger than ever, but cursed with a zombie-like hunger. He tries to drain everyone's energy until Gwen rallies the aliens against him.
Ew. I swear you were better looking when we used to go out.
Together, the team takes him down. In the end, Garil apologizes, makes Ben, Gwen, and Kevin official plumbers, and takes Darkstar away. Kevin finally gets the badge he's always wanted, and rushes to tell his mom he is now following in his father's footsteps. In episode 2, Alone Together, Ben and Highbreed Commander accidentally get teleported to a desert planet. At first, it's nothing but insults and arguments, but with each fight for survival against giant sand monsters, swarms of creatures, and a brutal heat, they are forced to rely on each other. Ben keeps saving him, even healing his injuries with Swampfire's powers, and slowly the hybrid begins to soften, even sharing his real name, Green Raising 3. For a moment, it feels like Ben has finally broken through, like maybe this hybrid isn't so different after all. But when they reach the teleporter, Rene refuses to return, declaring himself impure after fighting alongside a human and choosing to exile himself. Ben heads back home alone, left wondering if he actually changed Rene, or if the hybrid pride will always win in the end. In the episode 3, the story kicks off when the team runs into someone who looks exactly like Ben.
Ben Tennyson?
At first, it feels like some kind of trick, but then he reveals the shocking truth. His name is Albedo, and he has his own Omnitrix. The twist, he isn't just a random copy, he's actually a former assistant of Azimuth, the creator of the Omnitrix. Albedo tried to build one for himself, but things went wrong, leaving him trapped in Ben's human form. Now, he wants the real Omnitrix so he can fix himself. Of course, Ben isn't about to hand it over, and what follows is a huge alien battle, Ben versus Albedo, both switching forms and trying to outsmart each other. Just when it seems like things could spiral out of control, Azimuth himself shows up. He exposes Albedo's betrayer and punishes him by locking him in human form with no working Omnitrix. Before leaving, Azimuth also warns Ben that much bigger challenges are on the way. The episode closes on a mix of serious and funny. Albedo, furious about being stuck like that, swears revenge on Ben, but can't help angrily demanding chili fries. Skipping ahead to episode 5, Undercover, the episode opens with Kevin trying to test out a teleporter pod, but things go wrong fast. The machine overheats, explodes, and nearly takes the team out. Ben jumps in as Swampfire to try and contain it, but the pod is toast. Frustrated Kevin admits he can't fix it alone and suggests they find Cooper, the kid genius who can merge with tech. Remember, when they reach Cooper's lab, the place is trashed and Cooper is nowhere to be found. A quick check reveals a record message of him being captured by DN aliens. Gwen tracks his location to Lost Soul Dad, but when they arrive, it looks deserted. Then they realize the entire area is hidden under a massive croaking field. Inside, they find a huge DN alien operation, not just another outpost, but one of their largest projects yet. While sneaking around, the team spots Cooper being forced to build machinery for the Highbreed. Ben transforms into Goop
Cool, but gross.
and manages to rescue him after a scuffle, but Cooper reveals something worse. The aliens are using the cloak to hide massive weather towers. If activated, these towers could completely devastate the planet. Knowing they can't just leave, the team decides to take out the cloaking device before making a run for it. Long story short, Cooper overloads it with his powers, revealing the hidden DN aliens base to everyone outside. Alarms start blaring, DN aliens come swarming, and the team barely fight their way out. Cooper is safe, the cloaks destroyed, and they all make a clean escape in Kevin's car. In the episode 7, Grounded, Ben's parents accidentally discover his secret when they see him transforming into an alien. Naturally, they are upset, not just because he kept it from them, but because they think this alien fighting life is too dangerous. They ground him and forbid him from leaving his room. Meanwhile, Gwen and Kevin try to handle the DN aliens on their own, but Kevin quickly gets overwhelmed. Ben sneaks out to help anyway. On the mission, he backs up Kevin and discovers that the DN aliens are purifying isotopes for some mysterious power source. Before they can figure out the full plan, the hybrid commander shows up, and Ben and Kevin are completely outnumbered. Just when things look grim, Ben's parents arrive to help fight, using their skills to take down the aliens. With the threat neutralized, Ben's parents realize how important his work is and finally accept his responsibility as a hero. They lift his grounding and encourage him to keep protecting the planet, showing that they trust him and are proud of what he's doing. In the episode 8, Voided, Gwen gets a message from Helen saying something's gone wrong inside the null void and they need Ben's help. Ben decides to go alone since it's too dangerous for Gwen and Kevin, and besides, someone needs to keep the portal open. Once inside, Ben realizes Helen and Manny didn't call for an escape, they need him to fight someone called the Void. Turns out it's actually Dr. Animo, now controlling the Null Guardians and using them to enslave the inhabitants while building a machine to tear open a path to Earth. After a fight with Animo, Ben is taken to meet the leader of the Resistance, the Wrench. But the big twist, the Wrench is actually Grandpa Max. He never died in season 1. The Null Void projector teleported him here. Max explains the threat and together with Ben, Helen, Manny and Pierce, they take the fight to Animo. Ben, using Big Chill, manages to weaken Animo's generator and with Max's help, they destroy the machine before it can connect to Earth. When it's time to leave, Gwen opens a small portal for Ben. He begs Max to return, but Max decides to stay behind to continue leading the Resistance. Ben goes home relieved. His grandfather is alive, even if he can't be with him yet. In episode 10, Ben, Gwen and Kevin are in a forest surrounded by a bunch of DNA aliens. Ben goes a spider monkey to fight them off, but suddenly, boom, another spider monkey jumps in. Kevin's confused, thinking Ben is fighting in two places at once, but he notices this one's moves are way sharper. Turns out it's not Ben, it's another arachnochimp named Simeon. After the fight, Simeon slips back into the forest, leaving Ben curious. Later, Ben catches Simeon stealing from a cryogenics lab. Simeon says he's a prince trying to find a royal crystal to prove himself worthy of the throne. Ben believes him and offers to help, though Gwen and Kevin stay suspicious. Together, they follow him to a fortress on the moon. Inside, traps split the team. Ben and Simeon meet a scared guard named Rue. Simeon tries to kill him, but Ben stops him. In the crystal chamber, Simeon almost dies to the defenses, but Ben, turning into Stone, saves him and grabs the crystal. Ben refuses to hand it over, realizing Simeon isn't fit to be any king. Simeon then drops the Prince Act. He is just a mercenary for the Highbreed. The royal crystal is actually the power source of Lunar Com Station, and stealing it would cut Earth off from calling for help. Simeon tricks Kevin, knocks Ben out and escapes with what he thinks is the crystal. Yes, Ben swapped it already. The thing Simeon stole was just acidic air cleaner from earlier. The real power source stays safe, while Simeon delivers the fake crystal to the Highbreed and gets into big trouble. Alright, season finale, War of the Worlds Part 1. The Highbreed have conquered Asmod's planet and Paradox takes him to see Ben. Ben's shocked to see them but quickly realizes if they are here, things are really bad. Asmod explains that Earth is next. The Highbreed are building jump gates on every planet they conquer. Fast interstellar shortcuts to send warships across the galaxy in seconds. The team's job, find and destroy the jump gate on Earth. Gwen figures it's hidden in the abandoned mine where they rescued Cooper before. Turns out the weather towers were not just towers, they were building a jump gate. While Gwen, Kevin and Paradox gather reinforcements, Ben and Asmod talk about the Omnitrix. Asmod reveals it's basically a Noah's Ark for alien species, storing DNA of over 1 million creatures. If it's destroyed, all hope for the universe is gone. Ben insists on joining the fight anyway, and after some hesitation, Asmod activates Master Control, giving Ben access to all aliens. The team assembles Gwen, Kevin, Paradox, Darkstar, Cooper, Julie, Alan, and even Ship in his battleship form. They head to Highbreed base. As soon as they arrive, the aliens attack. Ben transforms into Cannonball.
Haven't seen him for a while.
What can I say? I'm feeling nostalgic.
smashing through groups of enemies. Gwen and Kevin help with gadgets while Paradox throws down the aliens with his time powers. Cooper uses his tech to make DNA repair guns, turning DNA aliens back into humans. Jury and Ship provide backup from above, blasting aliens out of the way. Even with all this, the jump gate looms ahead. Ben then transforms into Way Big, his biggest alien, to destroy the jump gate, but it doesn't work. Suddenly, the jump gate activates, opening a massive portal. A fleet of Highbreed warships come through, and it's way too much for the team. The battle has just gotten super intense, and the Earth is in serious danger. Okay, the War of the Worlds Part 2. Ben wakes up in the crater from Way Big's fall. The Highbreed fleet is still attacking Earth. Things are looking bad, but Ben has a plan: capture the Highbreed commander and force him to call back the ships. Sounds crazy, yeah, but it might just work. Ben, Gwen and Kevin race to the control tower. Ben turns into swamp fire and fights the commander. Kevin gets hurt. Gwen goes full anodite, smashing aliens left and right. She wants to stay that strong, but Kevin talks her down. He can't lose her. Max and the plumber's helpers show up, kicking the aliens' butts. They capture the commander, but he just laughs. Only the Highbreed Supreme can stop the invasion. No time to waste. Ben, Gwen, Kevin and Asmat jump through the portal to find him. They crash on a derelict planet and get captured. Ben uses the Omnitrix voice command, turns into Humongosaur and bursts everyone out. The team fights their way to the Highbreed Council. The Supreme refuses to recall the fleet. Asmat explains the truth. Highbreed are dying. Inbreeding, weak immune systems, sterility. They are the last generation. Their plan: destroy all life. Ben has a crazy idea: help them instead. He reprograms their DNA with the Omnitrix, mixing them with random aliens. Boom! Their genetic problems are fixed. The Highbreed are furious. They have lost their purity. Some even think about ending themselves. Then Rainy 3 shows up. He convinces the Highbreed it's okay. They can survive. They vote Rainy as their new supreme. Fleet recalled. Earth is safe. After the battle, Max stays behind to train the plumber kids. Gwen and Kevin head off to an auto show and Paradox takes Asmat back to Galvan Prime. Meanwhile, the Omnitrix reboots after all that crazy DNA work, locking master control, but Ben now has a whole new set of aliens to play with. Alrighty then, it's time for season 3, the last season of the series, with a bunch of new aliens and a nostalgic villain. Here we go again. Season 3 starts with Vengeance of Vilgax Part 1. Vilgax is back and this time he's stronger than ever. Yeah, that same Vilgax, Ben's main enemy from the old days. He's been going around the galaxy beating the strongest heroes like Ultimo and stealing their powers. Now he's got the abilities of 10 alien champions and his plan: nice and simple. Take down Ben once and for all. Back on Earth, Vilgax's right hand guy Siphon is setting everything up for his boss's arrival. Meanwhile, Max is busy training the plumber's helpers when he picks up a weird signal. He goes to check it out, only to run straight into Vilgax. Even with all the helpers fighting beside him, they don't stand a chance. Vilgax crushes them all 6 against 1 without even trying. Before leaving, he drops a chilling warning: bring Ben to face him or he will destroy Earth. When Max drops the news, Ben actually gets hyped. He's like, I have beaten Vilgax before, I can do it again. But Gwen isn't buying it. Vilgax is way stronger now. Kevin, on the other hand, thinks he's got the perfect plan: hack the Omnitrix, unlock all the power and let Ben go crazy. Gwen says it's a terrible idea, but Kevin starts messing with it anyway. That's when Asmat shows up as a hologram, telling Ben he's not ready for that kind of power, but Ben, being Ben, ignores him and tries it anyway. The Omnitrix freaks out. Kevin's garage explodes and Ben's left with nothing. New season, new villain, and of course a big nerf to the hero right when he needs his powers most. Okay, continuing with episode 2. So the garage is wrecked from the explosion. Gwen crawls out, safe thanks to her mana shield. She sees Chroma Stone and Spider Monkey running off and thinks it's Ben, but the real Ben is right behind her. Then Goop bounces away too, and Kevin, he's stuck all messed up. Crazy mix of materials. Totally stuck. Asmuth shows up, super mad. He tells Ben the truth. 4 aliens escaped the Omnitrix, and if they are not back in 24 hours, they are gone forever. He explains capture mode and then leaves, disappointed as usual. The team splits up to track the aliens. One by one, they catch them. Chroma Stone at the pier, Spider Monkey in a giant web, and Goop in the sewers. It's messy and chaotic because the aliens are running wild without Ben controlling them. Kevin discovers he can turn his mutant body into weapons, which helps a lot. Only Way Big is left and there's no time. Vilgax has already landed and Siphon announces the fight will be broadcast across the galaxy. If Ben doesn't show up, Earth gets destroyed. So Ben steps into the Conqueror's challenge. He starts with Jet Ray, then Big Chill, then Humongosaur, but Vilgax keeps beating every form. Just as Ben's about to lose hope, Gwen and Kevin arrive with Way Big. Ben tries to transform into Way Big but ends up as Chroma Stone. Bad timing. Vilgax uses Chroma Stone's energy against him and smashes him into pieces. Everyone thinks Ben is gone, but the Omnitrix has a fail-safe. It pulls the shards together and suddenly Ben is back as Diamond Head. Now it's a real fight. Diamond Head smashes Vilgax's weapons, traps him in a huge crystal shards and finally wins. Earth is safe for now. Max bans Vilgax from Earth and Fleet retreats. Ben worries everyone saw him on TV, but Max broke the broadcast halfway. Secret identity safe. Gwen asks about Chroma Stone, but Ben just shrugs. The Omnitrix is broken. Still, the team's together. They put their hands in, ready for whatever comes next. In episode 6, the Reader brothers land on Earth with a code order to take ship. Julie refuses. Ben shows up. Omnitrix glitches, but he still drives them off. Kevin confirms the order's real, so he and Ben head to the High Court while Gwen stays to protect Julie. The Readers return, fight Gwen and trap Ship and Julie with a repo boot. In court, Ben and Kevin argue, mess things up, but Domstall rules in their favor and cancels the order. Back on Earth, Kevin cracks the boot. Ben as Goop fights the brothers and Ship's freed. The Readers retreat and Basil admits Julie can keep Ship. Moving on to episode 8, an old Highbreed officer wakes from hibernation with orders to destroy Earth if the war was lost. He starts powering up a huge failsafe weapon. At dinner, Max acts weird, collapses, sprouts purple tendrils. He's being mind controlled by hybrid seeds. He flies off in the rust bucket to join others under control. Together, they power the failsafe, with Max even becoming the monster's brain. Then Gwen and Kevin track him down. The officer won't listen. He's convinced the war isn't over. A giant bioweapon rises, powered by the prisoners, heading straight for a nuclear plant. Earth could explode in minutes. The team sneak inside the monster. Gwen and Kevin fight its defenses, while Ben calls Ryan Resic 3 to convince the officer. Finally, the officer understands, sacrifices himself, and shuts the failsafe down. The humans are freed, including Max, and Earth is safe again. Jesus, so much this time. In episode 9, Ben, Gwen and Kevin are just chilling at the beach when out of nowhere a big rock monster shows up. They fight it, but suddenly it disappears into a portal. And guess who's behind it? Yup, Charmcaster. She's back and is still salty about Gwen taking her spellbook. But instead of attacking straight up, she changes her plan. She decides to hurt Gwen in the worst way by going after Kevin. Disguised as a girl named Caroline, she flirts with him, playing on his insecurities about looking like a monster. She even says Gwen's too selfish to ever help him. Kevin falls for it, and worse, he gets kissed. That's when she traps him with a magic necklace. Kevin rules Gwen to the planetarium, but Gwen notices the necklace right away. She smashes it and frees him. Kevin admits everything, even the kiss. Gwen's obviously mad, but she lets it slide for now because the bigger problem is Charmcaster. At the planetarium, Charmcaster takes Gwen's magic and runs away. Gwen feels broken, not just because she lost her powers, but because of what Kevin said. Later, Kevin goes to Charmcaster, acting like he's on her side, but it's a trick. He leads her back to Gwen. This time, Gwen fights back, takes her powers, and beats Charmcaster. Back at beach, Ben calls Kevin out. The kiss hurt, but his words hurt Gwen more. Kevin then finds out Gwen's been secretly working non-stop to cure him all along. For the first time, he actually feels the guilt. Right next to the episode is Ghost Town. Ben, Gwen and Kevin are messing around at mini golf when something crashes from the sky. It's Vilgax, beat up, desperate and asking for help. Turns out Ghost Freak has escaped prison and taken over Vilgaxia by possessing everyone, turning them into his minions. The team doesn't trust Vilgax at all, but Ghost Freak is too dangerous to ignore. When they arrive, the planet is packed with actoneurites. Even Vilgax himself seems shaken, saving a little girl instead of fighting, which surprises the team. They sneak into the palace where Ghost Freak is hiding. Ben decides to use the Omnitrix to transform into Ghost Freak and fight him on his own turf, but the plan backfires. Ghost Freak takes over Ben's body. Now Gwen, Kevin and Vilgax are forced to fight Ben himself. After a tough fight, Gwen accidentally weakens Ghost Freak with sunlight. He tries to take over Vilgax to get stronger, but Vilgax fights back and weakens him. And then Ben finally traps Ghost Freak back in the Omnitrix. Vilgaxia is safe. But Vilgax warns this isn't over. Ghost Freak gave him the secrets of the Omnitrix and he calls it just the beginning. Next up is episode 14. Ben, Gwen and Kevin are fighting a robot when suddenly the Omnitrix starts glitching out. Before Ben can react, a bright green light bursts from it and the three are teleported to a strange jungle planet with glowing green lava. Right away, the Omnitrix detaches from Ben's wrist and flies off, saying it has to return to its creator. The team chases it to a volcano where they stumble into a battle, Vilgax fighting Humongosaur. But it's not really Humongosaur, it's Azimuth, the Omnitrix's creator, using it himself. Vilgax overpowers everyone, chaining up Gwen and Kevin while demanding answers. Azimuth slips away just long enough to explain the truth. Primus isn't a person, it's the planet itself. This whole world is basically a giant database storing the DNA of every alien. The Omnitrix is connected directly to it, which is how it works. Vilgax returns and threatens to destroy Primus unless he learns how to use the Omnitrix. Against Azimuth's wishes, Ben steps up, pretending to teach Vilgax. He tricks him into turning into goop, then rips off the anti-gravity projector and takes the Omnitrix back. Vilgax isn't done though. After falling into the Codon stream, he rises up even bigger than before. Ben transforms into Waybig and the two crash in an epic fight. Waybig throws Vilgax into space, ending the battle. Azimuth finally lets Ben keep the Omnitrix but promises to hide Primus so no one can find it again. In the episode 16, Ben's got sick with a cold when Tetrax suddenly shows up, demanding Chroma Stone. He tries to force Ben to transform, but instead Ben turns into Diamond Head. That's when Tetrax reveals the truth. Chroma Stone's power is inside Diamond Head. He pulls it out, giving the Crystal Sapien a special crystal that can restore his destroyed planet, Petropia. Years ago, Tetrax had the powerful crystal and gave it to Vilgax, who used it to blast Petropia, turning the planet into rubble. In the present, Tetrax manages to steal that same crystal back from Vilgax, and now Vilgax wants it again. After some close calls and fights, the Crystal Sapien reaches Petropia and begins restoring it. Vilgax attacks, ripping the crystal from him, but it's already drained, and before dying, the Crystal Sapien grows one last crystal and gives it to Ben. Ben turns into Diamond Head, climbs the tallest mountain and activates it. Petropia is fully restored, its people return and the Crystal Sapien revives. Chroma Stone is still safe in Ben's Omnitrix. Back on Earth, Tetrax thanks the team but says he has unfinished business, settling the score with Vilgax. And just to make things funny, Vilgax ends up catching Ben's hold too, sneezing all over the place. Okay, moving on to the episode 18, Ragnarok, a dangerous criminal from the null void, escapes and comes back to Earth. Kevin learns the truth from Max. Years ago, his dad Devin Raven worked with Max as a plumber. Devin stole a key from Ragnarok but didn't survive. Now Ragnarok wants that key back. Kevin is furious and wants to fight him alone, but Ben and Gwen insist on helping. They find the key with Gwen's help, but Ragnarok shows up, grabs it and escapes to his ship to drain the sun's energy. The team sneaks aboard, but Kevin tricks Ben and Gwen into escape pods, sending them back to Earth. On the ship, Kevin fights Ragnarok and smashes the controls. The ship starts breaking apart and sucks Ragnarok into space. He begs for help, but Kevin says this is for his dad. Ragnarok is gone for good. Back on Earth, Gwen freaks out, thinking Kevin is gone, but he shows up, smiling and saying,
Nice to know you guys appreciate me.
well, it's a lot for Kevin. Alright then, not the season but the Alien Force series finale, episode 19, the final battle, part 1. Episode 19 kicks off with trouble. Albedo has escaped from prison and stolen the Ultimatrix from Azimuth. This isn't just any Omnitrix upgrade, it can evolve any alien into its ultimate form. But there's a catch, the Ultimatrix is linked to Ben's Omnitrix, so Albedo needs Ben's watch to make his plan work. Vilgax is along for the ride, but he doesn't care about the Ultimatrix anymore. His only goal is to take down Ben. Their plan, capture Ben's friend one by one, so he's all alone and easy to defeat. First, Albedo grabs Kevin, then Gwen. He even goes after Max, but Max manages to escape and rushes to warn Ben. Albedo sends Ben a message. If he wants to see his friends again, he must meet him at the coordinates provided. Max urges Ben to wait and form a plan with the other plumber kids, knowing Ben can't win alone, but of course Ben ignores the advice and heads in by himself. Well, bad idea. When Ben shows up, he realizes he's way outmatched. Albedo reveals the Ultimatrix's power and transforms into Ultimate Humongosaur, completely overpowering Ben. Vilgax shows up with an army of biotes and steps in, giving Ben a choice, the Omnitrix or his friends. Without a second thought, Ben takes off the watch and hands it over. Vilgax laughs triumphantly as Albedo and his ultimate powers dominate the scene. Ben is in serious trouble, like seriously outmatched, but hey, he didn't do anything to keep his friends safe. Picking up where we left off, Ben just handed over the Omnitrix to Vilgax to save his friends. Max shows up, fights off Vilgax's biotes and tosses Gwen her spellbook so she can teleport everyone to safety. Albedo, in his ultimate Humongosaur form, demands the Omnitrix, but Vilgax betrays him, sinking his biotes to the Omnitrix and turning them into a massive army of Humongosaurs. Albedo fights them, but he is overwhelmed and gets captured. Watching all this, Ben feels terrible. He storms into the woods, thinking he's useless without the Omnitrix. Gwen wants to follow, but Max tells her to give Ben some space. Ben calls out to Azimuth for help, and Azimuth appears, reminding him that the Omnitrix was meant for Max, and Ben only got it because he was worthy. That pep talk gives Ben a boost of courage. Back with the team, Ben, Gwen and Kevin teleport onto Vilgax's ship. Vilgax surrounds them with biotes and refuses to hand over the Omnitrix. Ben activates the watch's self-destruct and Vilgax thinks it's a bluff. But boom, it really starts to blow up, knocking Vilgax out and deactivating the biotes. Kevin is restored to his normal self and Gwen kisses him in a celebration. Ben then goes to Albedo, offering to release him in exchange for the Ultimatrix. Albedo refuses at first, but when Ben triggers the self-destruct again, he quickly hands it over. Ben transforms into Ultimate Swamp Fire and goes after Vilgax, blasting him with a huge flames. Meanwhile, Max and Gwen steer Vilgax's crashing ship into the ocean. Ben escapes by transforming into Jetray. Above the water, the team reunites, cheering and hugging. The ship explodes beneath them. But Ben reminds everyone that Vilgax has survived worse, so it's not over yet. But for now, Earth is safe. And just like that, our hero now has the Ultimatrix, and that's a wrap for the Alien Force series. series. Oh, and by the way, there's a live action movie too, not really part of the story, but hey, if you want some live action heroes, it's Ben 10 Alien Swarm. So Ben, Gwen and Kevin team up with a new ally, Arena, to stop a bunch of alien tech called microchips that are taking over people's mind. The main villain behind it all is the Hive, a queen controlling the chips, and her plan is basically world domination. Ben gets to use some cool new aliens like Big Chill, Humongosaur and Nanomech and fights through all kinds of chaos with his friends. The main plot is all about tracking down the Hive, saving people including Arena's dad, and stopping the chips before they spread completely. Give it a watch if you want to. And that's a wrap on the Ben 10 Alien Force. Ben 10 out of 10, I did say. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and if you did, drop a like, subscribe and comment which show you want me to cover next, and stay tuned for the full Ben 10 Ultimate Alien story breakdown. Thanks for watching and I will see you all next time.